Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another big exciting day in my kitchen. Where are we gonna go? What are we gonna make? All good questions. Guys, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to northern Italy. I think I'm gonna take all of you guys to Milan. We're gonna hop on the Cooking Italian with Joe airplane. We're gonna fly out of, I don't know, Newark, head to Milan, right? Milano, and we're going to make a white sauce. In French cooking, and it's a critical aspect of French cooking. Actually, it's a staple in all cooking, and that's gonna be a Béchamel sauce. In Italiano, it's called a Béchamel sauce. In southern United States, it's called milk gravy sauce. But whatever you wanna call it, it is a critical aspect, certainly, of Italian cooking. So if you're making mac and cheese, I mean, you gotta know this recipe, right? If you're gonna make lasagna from Bologna, Italy, you gotta know this recipe. And it's really it's a staple to any like cheese sauces. So it's delicious and it's easy and it's fun. So let me show you guys how to make it. All right, so let's go over ingredients. We're gonna need some milk. So I went up to Utica Dairy here in central New York. They have some organic whole milk, non-homogenized, which was great. So if you can get a really good quality, high fat content. So we're gonna use 4 cups of whole milk cold in the dish. And we'll show you there's a strategy on when to add it and how much to add it to make sure it comes out really silky and smooth and obviously delicious. Next ingredients, we're gonna make a roux. So we're gonna use a fat and a flour. So I want equal parts in weight, not in volume, equal parts in weight. So I've got 1 cup, approximately 1 cup of flour. Now in this case, I've got a pastry flour. An all-purpose flour will be great. I mean, you could probably use any flour, but I like a lower protein content. And that's gonna give me about 100 grams of flour. And in this case, I want 100 grams of butter, which is gonna be about 7 tablespoons. And then for the fat content with our butter, I want a really good quality butter, high butter fat content. Now this happens to be a non-salted butter. So don't panic. If you wanna make a Béchamel sauce and you don't have unsalted butter, just don't add any salt. In this case, I've got an unsalted butter, so one of my next ingredients is gonna be salt. Today we're gonna use a flat Sicilian salt. I love it. It's a little bit more delicate. It's a little softer. It's gentler on the palate. It's just delicious, very briny, just delicious. So we're gonna use a pinch of salt. Next, a magical and essential ingredient to a Béchamel sauce, we're gonna want nutmeg. Oh, nutmeg, if anybody watches our videos, you know, I just love nutmeg. It is truly one of my favorite spices to add to any dish. It goes so great with a savory dish. It goes delicious with a dolce, with a sweet dish. So we're gonna use several swipes on our microplaner there, on our little grater for the nutmeg. So we definitely want to use a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. A little goes a long way. If you like nutmeg and you love it and you want to add some deeper flavor, add a little bit more. If you don't, back off a little bit and just use a couple little swipes. Now I'm thinking olive oil. I'd want the best Italian olive oil. Actually, extra virgin Italian olive oil does not go in this dish, though you could use it in replace of the butter. But if you wanted to use it, I would want to use the best extra virgin Italian olive oil from Puglia, Italy, because it's delicious. I'd want a grassy, earthy, peppery, a little extra kick to it. Where would I get something like that if I was looking for it? Oh, I know where I'd go. I'd hit the link above or below. So anybody new to our channel, and a huge shout out to our existing subscribers, welcome to the Cooking Italian with Joe family, certainly on our channel. For anybody new, I own a farm in Italy. I named the company after my 2 boys. It's in Puglia, Italy, right above the heel. We make extra virgin Italian olive oil. It's delicious. We co-op with a whole group of farms out there. We ship it here in the United States. We bottle it. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, I would love to get some. I would want to get some too if I was you. So I'm going to have you hit the link above or below, or go to our website, Cooking Italian with Joe, and we'll drop ship you a few bottles right to your front doorstep. And when I look at that, I always think of it as taking a trip to Italy right in the bottles. All right, what do you say we get cooking? Come on over with me. We're going to go with the stove. Got my pan. I'm going to put it on a low to medium heat. First thing we want to do is take our butter and get our butter melted. Once the butter's fully melted, I'm going to show you something that most people do at a different time. I'm going to add my nutmeg, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the nutmeg has a lot of fat in it. It oils, and that's where your flavors come out. So if I add them to the butter right now, and I add that 1/4 teaspoon to the butter, I'm going to get a lot more flavor out of the nutmeg than if I wait and add it after the milk. The aroma of that, so good. Now guys, I'm going to give that a stir, and right when it starts to bubble, I'm not trying to boil the butter, right when it starts to get bubbly, I'm going to add my flour. And what we're making here is a roux. So turn the heat down a little bit, so I'm on a really low heat, and give it a nice stir. And now what's gonna happen is this is gonna thicken up a lot, and that's good. So what I wanna do is use the spatula, and I wanna get all of the fat incorporated within the flour. I don't wanna see any white of the flour left. And now what I wanna do, guys, for about 2 minutes, is I wanna cook down the fat with the flour. And why I wanna do that is I actually wanna cook the flour. And if I cook the flour down, it's gonna bring out just a beautiful flavor within the flour. It'll be nutty and creamy and have just a gorgeous flavor. If I don't allow the flour to cook, it'll taste like raw flour. So we can either stop right now. That's gonna give me a very, very light, delicate sauce. I'm gonna go a little bit more to get a little bit more flavor out of it. Okay, so it's gonna be a really light medium, almost like a cream. And it's tough in these videos to just get that color exactly right. Sometimes I find it comes out a little darker. That's perfect. That's right where I want my sauce. So really important now, the first thing I want to do is shut the heat off. So in this case, I'm lucky I've got a granite countertop. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my whisk, clean off my spatula, and I've got my milk, which is cold, so don't worry about it. Now what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of the milk to my dish, and it'll get thick. So maybe a couple ounces tops. And now I'm going to take my whisk off the heat now, and I'm going to give it a nice stir. And I want to go all the way across, and I want my milk to fully incorporate itself within the roux. Beautiful. Now I'm going to add a little bit more, just a little bit more, and just gently keep stirring. Add a little bit more. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of this milk. Now we've got a total of 4 cups of milk that we're going to add here. So I've got the 1 cup fully incorporated. So now that I've got that 1 cup fully incorporated, I'm going to bring it back to the heat. And now I'm going to go ahead and add some more of the milk. So I usually do 3 sets. I add about a cup slowly to the first part of the roux, and then the 3 cups I'm going to add 2 separate amounts. And that just makes it a lot easier. You can throw it all in. In this dish, I don't want to splash it. And I'm going to go ahead and make a nice slow stir. And then as it heats up, everything will melt right in. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my milk. Guys, let's go over a couple of tips to make this come out delicious, okay? So I've got all of my milk added now, that 1 quart of milk added to my bechamel sauce. And now I'm going to take a whisk, or alternate between my whisk and my spatula, and I'm just going to do a nice steady slow stir until the milk comes up to temperature, and then everything will start to thicken. A couple other tips to make this come out just delicious. One is when you subscribe to the channel. So you click that red button right there, the notification bell, and you got to give me a thumbs up, right? And I'll tell you that shares our video with other people. So guys, when you subscribe to the channel, we've got a lot going on in the farming out in Italy. Any trips we got coming up, which I got a big trip coming out to Italy here in a few weeks. Any new recipes, any new travel tips, it'll come right to your notification box. And like I tell you guys every week, hey, make sure part of the family, you know what I mean? As far as the olive oil goes, I can hear it literally being shipped to your house right now as we speak. So you already got that. All right, so let's finish up on our sauce. Just when we're almost done here, I'm gonna add a little salt. So I'm gonna add a pinch of salt, my Sicilian flaky sea salt here to the dish. Maybe a little bit more, perfect. And just gently give that a nice stir. And as this is thickening up, all those flavors will start to marry, and this is just gonna be delicious. Look how perfect that is. I'm gonna let this cook down for another 30 seconds to a minute, and I think we're ready to serve. We are literally just perfect right there. That's exactly what I want. See how nice and thick and gorgeous that is? All right, so let's take a quick flavor of it. Creamy, silky, smooth. You know, no cheese in it, and yet it tastes of cheese. You know, you get a couple of notes of the nutmeg. The amount of salt in there is perfect. The butter, the flour's cooked down just absolutely perfect. So delicious, such a great sauce, simple, easy. And guys, thanks so much for joining me today in our kitchen for such a simple and delicious recipe, a bechamel sauce, or an Italiano bechamel sauce. So a couple of things here before we close. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hey, make your part of the Cooking Italian with Joe family. Certainly grab yourself a few bottles of olive oil by the link above or below, or my website, Cooking Italian with Joe. And my most important tip, guys, that I love to close with and share with you guys every week is spend some time with your family in the kitchen. That's what these videos are all about. You know, celebrate your heritage and absolutely set some traditions for you and your family that last you a lifetime. I know they did for me. Hey guys, from my kitchen to yours, until next week, mwah, buon appetito.